Taja Davis spoke with him to get a few more details on what this all means.
Lasting immunity is what protects you from infections long after you cleared it the first time your body experienced that particular illness. In this case, we're talking about SARS coronavirus 2 virus. Its antibodies play a big role in this research.
So we measured those antibodies in a lot of people, and what we're seeing is that the antibodies seem to be pretty stable and at high enough levels where they should confer at least some amount of protection if you saw the virus again. So I think there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the virus early in a subset of people, and that gets them very sick. But I think what we're seeing is that if you do recover from it, it's very likely that you're going to be immune for quite some time.
Although Bhattacharya says they can't predict how long the lasting immunity sticks around for, this shows proof that the body is working to fend off the viruses it's supposed to.
I wish we had a shortcut. I wish we had some way to predict. We don't. It looks like it's a pretty normal response so far out in these later stages. And if it's anything like the first SARS coronavirus in 2003, then I would expect that you would have at least some degree of immunity for at least a few years.
And within those few years, it's shown your body may never take hold of that infection again, or if you do get infected, your cells will fight it off to where you may never realize you had it.
So I think those are all part of the broad spectrum of what we consider to be immunity, and all of those I think are perfectly plausible outcomes. And I think I feel reasonably confident saying that at least some of those mechanisms are going to be there for most people for at least this long and probably for a few years.
What's next is to keep track of those participants over a span of a couple of years and hopefully get a few steps closer to finding a viable vaccine.
You know, what I'm maybe cautiously optimistic on is that we can shift some of our research to how some of these vaccines are going to behave as well. I mean, do they look similar to what someone who recovered from the virus infection looks like?
The study's participants were folks who were infected at the start of the pandemic and 4 months out. Those who were treated at Banner UMC, U of A students, and high-risk professionals. Taja Davis, KGUN 9 on your side.
Well, you know this, Bisbee brings in thousands of tourists every year.